let me tell you about Wizbit. Now, he comes from the planet of WoW. Once he was a little bit of magic in his daddy's eye. Time came to grow a bit. Wizbit grew about 3 feet high.
Before the internet and before algorithmic content funnels and infinite scroll, children's television had a strange freedom. It was looser, cheaper, often made with good intentions but limited oversight. And that mix birthed some of the most haunting artifacts of the late 20th century culture. Few are more unsettling than Wizbit, a show that feels like it slipped in from a reality slightly adjacent to our own. Familiar on the surface, but off in ways you can't quite name. At a glance, Wizbit was a magical puzzle show for children. It aired on BBC One from 1986 to 1988. Co-created by magician Paul Daniels and producer Barry Murray, it was billed as an educational fantasy about a friendly alien wizard named Wizbit who came to Earth to learn about human logic. But the show is remembered not for its educational value and not even for its magic, but for the feeling that it left behind: a slow, creeping weirdness, a sense that something in the architecture of its world was twisted, even if you couldn't point to exactly what. And the setting is a fictional town called Puzzleopolis, a name that should evoke whimsy and curiosity, but somehow feels sterile and ominous, like a city designed by bureaucrats after reading one Lewis Carroll poem. Every inhabitant of Puzzleopolis is a costumed object, dice with faces, talking pencils, giant sponge balls. There's no natural order, no clear reason why some are human and others are objects with legs. It's a community of beings trapped in an eternal, logic-based carnival, and Wizbit arrives in the middle of it all, a floating yellow cone with a single blinking eye and a face that seems wrong. Not threatening, not scary, just not quite right. His proportions are off, his movement is unnatural, his hat bears a symbol resembling the seal of Solomon but rendered like a corporate logo. He looks like a mascot for a doomed education startup. Wizbit comes from the planet WoW, a name that sounds like someone gave up halfway through the script. His mission is to stay in Puzzleopolis for a year and a day, learning about Earth's puzzles and humanity's strange logic. He's assigned a guide, Wooly, a large, slightly wilted puppet rabbit with human hands and a glazed stare. Wooly speaks with a tone that wavers between dopey and deranged. Together they walk through the streets, solving riddles, battling Professor Doom, and navigating puzzles that only barely hold together under scrutiny. But what makes Wizbit so memorable and so quietly disturbing isn't its story, it's the tone. Visually, Wizbit is an unholy blend of stage magic, budget pantomime, and proto-VHS fuzz. The colors are harsh and oversaturated, like someone smeared melted crayons across your screen. The editing is jagged, with strange zooms, awkward wipes, and abrupt shifts in perspective that leave you disoriented. The music is a circus-style shuffle built around a warbling version of Leadbelly's Ha Ha This-A-Way. And then there's the narration, delivered in a plummy British cadence that could belong to a bedtime story or a cult initiation. The voice doesn't comfort, it commands. It speaks in riddles, making pronouncements that sound like they mean something even when they don't. To find the truth, you must first forget what you knew. In Puzzleopolis, the only logic is illogic. Lines that hang in the air as if daring you to challenge them, and everything about Wizbit seems to operate under a slightly skewed internal logic, and that's the root of the discomfort. You're never quite sure what rules you're playing by. Is it magical, educational, surrealist, low-budget nightmare? There's a push and pull between whimsy and dissonance that never resolves, like a dream you can't wake up from but also can't fully enter. The show was ostensibly designed to teach children about critical thinking. Each episode revolved around riddles, brain teasers, or simple logic puzzles. But instead of clarity, Wizbit only offers fragmentation because the puzzles are rarely explained in a satisfying way. They're either solved instantly or abandoned mid-thread as if the show itself forgot the setup. One moment, Wizbit is solving a rhyme with a group of friendly dominoes, and the next he's floating above a spiral staircase with dramatic music playing. Then we're back to the rabbit laughing uncontrollably, then a music video breaks out, and then we cut to a villain making vague threats through a crystal orb. The effect isn't educational, it is destabilizing. There's no rhythm, no arc, just a slow accumulation of unease like static building in a forgotten corner of the brain. Let's break it down plainly. Wizbit is unnerving because 1. The main character is a living symbol, not a creature or person, but a cone with a sigil and a face. 2. The puppet sidekick does not blink and speaks in half-delirious sentences. 3. The villains are too theatrical to be threatening, but too bizarre to ignore. They exist in a void where stakes feel both massive and meaningless. And 4. Every object talks, but none of them seem aware of why they exist. And there's no real grounding, no child avatar to anchor the audience, no adult character to create context, just a world that moves without you, indifferent to your understanding. If Wizbit were just bad, we would forget it, but it's memorable in the way that certain dreams are. Confusing, persistent, symbolic. It's not horror, it's something more subtle and insidious. A show built for joy that fell into the uncanny valley by accident, and like anything that wasn't supposed to disturb you but did, it sticks. In Wizbit, the line between fiction and hallucination isn't just blurred, it's willfully ignored. It's not the kind of show that builds a world, introduces a structure, and lets you settle in. Instead, it throws out pieces. Characters, riddles, plot fragments, like a magician's deck of cards mid-trick. Some land face up, others vanish into the air, and the ones you remember are the ones that feel wrong.
What can I do for you, Mr. Vetak? How can I help you?
And he seemed so concerned that Mr. Vetak told him his secret, that he felt no happiness in his life, and that there was no happiness in him, and begged the doctor to help him.
Yes, I can help you, Mr. Vetak. Not only can I help you, I can cure you.
Mr. Vetak's spirits rose in elation. How can you cure me? He asked.
I do not know what you do in your daily life, Mr. Vetak, but it is clear to me that what you need is some laughter in your life. And by chance, the opportunity is here, in this very town. You must go to see Grok, the famous clown, Grok. He will make you laugh.
But, yeah, Doctor, I am Grok.
So you see, a clown is only an ordinary man. Even if he has laughter on the outside, he can be sad inside.
If you meet someone today without a smile, you give them one of yours.
The central figure, Wizbit, is curious. On paper, a friendly, curious alien wizard sent to learn about Earth. In practice, he's a giant yellow cone with a face, a blinking eye, a rubbery mouth, and a hat adorned with esoteric symbols. He doesn't walk, he glides, and while his voice is upbeat, his movements are sluggish and surreal. He doesn't emote, he presents, like a salesman at a haunted museum. Everything about Wizbit's design is cognitively dissonant. He's too abstract to be cute, too static to be expressive, and too omnipresent to ignore. You're supposed to find him charming. Instead, you find him hollow, not malevolent, not evil, just vacant. An animated teaching tool that wandered off script and now haunts the back alleys of public access television. Then there's Wooly, the rabbit companion. Wooly is a puppet, sort of. More accurately, he's a man in a padded costume with animatronic ears, dead eyes, and a mouth that flaps open like a garbage bin. He speaks in an exaggerated Cockney accent, cracking jokes that land somewhere between dad humor and disassociation. Wooly is the only one who reacts emotionally. He gets scared, confused, laughs a lot, sometimes too much and for too long, and at things that are not funny. If Wizbit is the conduit of mystery, then Wooly is the emotional register, but instead of grounding the show, he enhances the unease. He seems just self-aware enough to realize the world doesn't make sense, but not self-aware enough to escape it. Then there's Professor Doom, the main antagonist, a magician, a scientist, a performer, a threat. It's never clear. He wears a black cape, he speaks in a posh growl, and lives in a lair that looks like the inside of a novelty chess piece. He has a cat named Jinx who may or may not be sentient. His goal is puzzles. Wait, chaos? Maybe defeating Wizbit? The show never really explained. Professor Doom represents what all weakly written villains do, a shape to project fear onto, but in Wizbit he doesn't just feel underwritten, he feels miswritten, like a parody of a villain who escaped from another show. One episode will have him conjuring riddles and chuckling harmlessly, another will have him peering into a crystal orb and muttering about the quote-unquote collapse of logic. It's that inconsistency that makes him eerie. You're never sure what he is truly capable of or even what genre he belongs to. If the characters are odd, the episodes themselves are where Wizbit fully descends into cognitive disarray. For instance, the pilot episode opens not with a character or a setting, but with a voice. A strange, godlike narrator explaining that Wizbit is here to study Earth logic. This is accompanied by spinning visuals, morphing lights, and vague symbols that feel more religious than whimsical. It's like watching the intro to a cult recruitment tape that accidentally broadcast on children's television. The camera moves in disjointed ways, transitions happen with no movement, and the first shot of Wizbit appearing suddenly in the middle of Puzzleopolis is jarring, not magical. It's like someone dropped an alien mascot into a community theater stage and yelled, "Go!" This opening matters because it sets the tone. Wizbit isn't a show about a character arriving in a new world. It's about a world that already seems broken, welcoming a character who doesn't know. And later in the series, we get one of the most infamously unsettling episodes, Bad Bit. In this one, Wizbit encounters his evil doppelganger, a sneering, low-voiced cone who looks identical except for his slightly darker shade and angry eyebrows. Yes, really, a children's character who looks exactly like Wizbit strolls into town, acts like a bitter adult, and then demands alcohol. This isn't just a tonal misstep, it's a rupture. The veil slips. We are no longer watching a teaching show with occasional glitches. We are watching something that has collapsed inward, where parody, menace, and absurdity merge without comment or consequence. Wooly, for his part, seems genuinely frightened by Bad Bit. He retreats, he stammers, he breaks into song to cope. It's played as comedy, but it lands as trauma. A puppet trying to hold the world together with show tunes while his best friend splits in two. And then there is the carrot dance dream sequence in which Wooly performs a strange dance. The entire segment is short, but it has been burned into the minds of everyone who saw it because it doesn't feel like a joke. It feels like an intrusion, like a memory that wasn't yours somehow embedded itself into your brain.
I think Angle's question.
That's right. Now, just think about the question. How many ice creams can a hungry man eat on an empty stomach? Are you thinking deeply?
I'm thinking and I'm counting and I've got it. I got it. Quick, ring the bell.
Who desires to enter here?
It's me. She's gone. Where is she gone? It's me, Willie with
Are
an
you
answer.
prepared to answer the riddle of... Oh, it's you, Willie. Have you got the answer yet?
Yes, I have.
Then declare it.
The answer is...
Why, that's correct, Willie. You can both
How
come in.
about that, Wizbit? Open the champagne.
All Wizbit episodes share a common trait. They do not follow narrative logic. They follow dream logic. Characters appear, disappear, change personalities, switch tones, reappear. Locations have no consistency. Sometimes the town is a medieval fantasy village. Other times, it's a surrealist suburb of early 80s Britain. One episode ends with a riddle. The next starts with a musical number. There are no rules, only strange patterns. But even those break if you look too closely. The show feels like it was created by someone who remembered what children's TV felt like, but didn't remember how it actually operated. It's like an alien race trying to reverse engineer Sesame Street and accidentally creating a liminal trap for developing minds. Wizbit was never meant to be disturbing, but its characters, its broken sense of logic, and its episodic structure evoke something older than television, something folkloric, a town where objects talk, riddles are law, and the rules change when you are not looking, a tale told by someone who forgot the ending but kept repeating the middle.
Hey, this is great, Wizbit. This is the best Christmas ever. Say, I meant to ask,
Willie, come along and see Squidgy's present.
whatever happened to Professor Doom?
Oh, I arranged a magical Christmas for him. I sent him on a short journey beyond the Milky Way. That's about 2 million miles short. I wonder how he's getting on.